record on this. Hello, content team.
Oh, hello.
So Erica had updated the invitation last week, but I should have sent another reminder this morning. Welcome, everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, doing well.
I was just saying, sorry, I apologize for hiding behind my profile picture, but I just got back from New York this morning, and it's extremely strange to get back at mid-morning after leaving at like 11 o'clock the night before and being on a plane for like 6 hours. I'm very confused with life at the moment, so I'm in pajamas, full disclosure.
I get it.
As you should be.
Yeah, Vanessa, you're getting real insight into remote work life right now.
I'm pretty excited about it, not gonna lie. Wonderful. Well, as we all know, our beloved manager is basically Sid's best friend for the next 2 weeks. So I'll be your pilot for the duration of this call. Yay! So first things first, exciting news. Vanessa has joined our team. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Not as excited as we are to have you. We've been eagerly anticipating your arrival for many, many weeks, and we're thrilled that you're here. So yay, welcome.
Thank you.
Have your first few hours been?
They've been good. Just trying to figure everything out, you know.
I have a very serious question to ask you.
Sure.
Are you wearing yoga pants yet?
Yes.
Excellent. You're fully embracing your remote life. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I spoke with Erica on Thursday, and she's super excited to have you, and she's recording a welcome video for you. So she's going to send it to you or upload it at some point, but
Okay.
she will express her excitement.
Okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know.
Yes. So the next item on the agenda is Erica had mentioned that in 2 weeks, on April 8th, she would like each of us to have something to demo and present to the rest of the team. It could be something that we've completed or something that we're currently working on, but it should be related to something we're doing this quarter. And we're doing this for 2 reasons. One is that we should get in the habit and have the skill to present our work, and it would be good to practice with each other and get used to talking about our work and presenting our work. She didn't say that last part, but it sounds good, so let's just roll with it. And then the other part is that as the team grows, it's important that we keep each other aware of what we're doing, and sometimes it's hard, especially as issue boards grow. So that's why we'll be doing this. So April 8th, everybody have something to present. Any questions or concerns about that?
So I will be out. I'm actually going to be gone all next week and early the week after that, because I will be in Paris. So should I maybe arrange to do something when I get back, or what do you think?
So I would talk about that with Erica, but I think I wouldn't worry about it. You can either do something before or after.
Okay.
So, and I know like some of the things you've been working on a ton of stuff for Just Commit and Jenkins. So
Yeah.
you can probably do it afterwards, the week you come back.
Okay, cool.
15th or whatever. So
Well, she's being said until the 5th, so I would think after makes sense, because she is probably not going to be around to watch presentations with her.
all right, cool.
Cool. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm glad I can answer that question for you. Okay, so our next agenda item, the developer report. So this is a lot, so buckle in. So I have gone through the top findings for the landing page for the developer report. And to give you some background, Vanessa, we do this developer report every year, or I guess we've done it for 3 years. But we just finished the survey, and now we're going through and analyzing the findings. So I've gone through, and there are 2 deliverables for this project. One is a PDF, and the other is a landing page. So the PDF will be more detailed results, more analysis, discussions about trends, and I'll be pulling in SMEs to talk about, like, to provide insight. And then the other deliverable is a landing page. The landing page will just have the top, like, 6 to 10 findings. So this is how we're doing it this year. So because the survey was designed to gather insights from 3 different groups, development, operations, and security, the landing page will be split up into the 3 different categories. So the theme of this year's developer report is space. It's going to be an interstellar theme. So when you land on the landing page, you'll have like this like, you'll have, I had like this image, but I can't find it. So you'll have this like spaceship or like space sort of imagery, and then you'll click your journey, and then there will be 3 different planets. There will be a security planet, a development planet, and an operations planet. And then once you launch your mission and travel to that planet, you'll find all the important insights and findings from there. So this is where I need all of you to please help me if you have time. So I've linked a document with the top findings for the landing page, and it's separated by category. And depending on my energy level, everything either sounds fantastic or everything sounds super confusing and not that interesting. So if you could please look through the findings and make suggestions on wording, like, is there a better way to word something, or if this is super confusing to you, or if you feel like a finding isn't that important, please let me know, because I've been in it so much I can't think anymore. I have spoken to a lot of operations security and development GitLabbers to ask them, does this finding sound interesting to you? So I feel confident that these findings are relevant, but still, it's always good to get more feedback. So please let me know. I really appreciate it. Do we have any questions about the developer survey or my ask for help?
No, I'm excited to take a look.
I'm excited to have you take a look. Okay, cool. So this is something new.
I love this space theme. How fun. That sounds really fun.
It's going to be so cool, Melissa. Jarek and Luke are super creative. And so let me try to like quickly find this thing while I talk. So the idea is that the landing page will be like a super interactive experience. So the PDF will be like more like straightforward. There'll be a lot of imagery, but it won't be like that, like interesting, I guess. I mean, it will be interesting, but in a different way. But the landing page will be, it'll be like really interactive and engaging. And as you travel to the different worlds or to the different planets, each planet will be designed so that it embraces the imagery of that person. So like the security planet will have like a lot of locks. It'll have like a lot of like security imagery. So this is like a wireframe of what the one of the planets will look like. So once you travel to this planet, there will be little data boxes, and then you click a box, and if it's a finding that'll have like some interesting analysis, there will be like a separate pop-up box that comes up and says like 2 to 3 sentences about that finding. If there's nothing, like it's an interesting finding, but there's not a lot of analysis attached to it, then you'll have these little animations that happen. So if it says something like 50% of developers feel blah, 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 or 3 out of 5 feel blah, 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 there will be like 5 spaceships that go across, and only 3 fly across and make it, and then 2 of them fly elsewhere. Or it'll be like, if it's something to do with security, there'll be like 10 locks that like lock properly, but then the other locks like don't work or whatever. So there will be like a ton of animations, and I'm so excited about it.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see this come to life. And I'll take a look through the findings as well, but it sounds really, really interesting and neat. I'm excited.
Thank you. Yay. Cool. So I'm going to delete that because I don't want everyone to see it. Just you guys. Okay. Just you people. So this next thing is something new that Erica would like us to do. So for every content meeting that we have, we should have some discussion items. And this is to help us think about, you know, how we can improve. Is there anything that people are struggling with? So our first discussion topic, and anybody can add anything today or for any other future meeting as well. Our first discussion topic is our issue boards, milestones, and epics, helping everyone stay on top of their work, and can we easily find the information we need from content team members and others? And the reason why Erica has this question is that she's sitting in on a lot of calls from across the department, across the company. So she's able to look into how other teams organize their work, how they collaborate. And before she changes things, she'd like, or suggests changes, she'd like to get an idea of what works for us and how we feel about our current method to increase visibility. So I've had some time to think about this, so I'd like to stay silent while everyone else has some time to sort of reflect on their thoughts and experiences, and then maybe we can jump in and have a discussion.
Yeah, so this actually has come up last week, because now that I'm sort of like getting deeper and deeper into this Jenkins campaign, and I'm still sort of navigating the waters of like what exactly we do. And so I'm technically getting up to speed, but now I'm considered like the content resource for a lot of different teams. Like the issue boards are really helpful. I use those all the time, milestones, epics. But when people like ping me, oh, can you like edit this when you get a chance? Or, oh, would you want to take a look at this? As they like ping me, but don't necessarily assign me things, it gets much harder for me to keep up with like what I have to do when. So like a perfect example of this is like the product marketing team is working on some emails, and they were like, oh, you know, rely on C. Buchanan for editing support as needed. But it's like, that doesn't give me any sort of trackable timeline. And it's just kind of stuck in my to-dos. So then I'm working on issue boards, but there might be this other task that I got pinged on a week and a half ago, and now all of a sudden it's something I have to do. So I'd love if there was a little bit, if it was a little bit easier for me to keep track of that stuff, because right now it's just in a long to-do list.
So when you say that you're pinged, do they ping you on Slack, or do they just like mention you in an issue?
They mention me in the issue.
Okay. So that happens as well for me. And that's hard to sort of like narrow things down and like sort of say like, no, like, please give me like an estimated time of arrival.
Yeah.
So I think what I've done in the past when that's happened to me is I'll ask like, do you have an idea of when this will be ready? Or do you know when this is due, or something like that? This way I at least know like on my calendar, like when I should check back in, or roughly know when something's happening. But yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I try and like reinforce the culture of if you need something from me, like an action item, like assign the merge request or the issue to me. Don't just like leave it in a comment, because that's really easily lost. But that is like a kind of sort of cultural practice, I think, that needs to be reinforced across the whole of marketing, because like I think within our own team, we've become used to working that way, but like marketing has grown so fast, like people are hitting the ground running without having time to kind of learn those norms. So yeah, I sometimes have that experience as well. The other thing that I wanted to mention on like the epics kind of scenario, and I don't know if like Suri and Chrissy, you might be able to speak to this better, having worked on like Just Commit and stuff, but I don't understand why there are sometimes two issues for the same blog post, and one is literally just like a skeleton issue that is like for tracking to the epic, and then we have another issue that's for my issue board. It seems like an unnecessary step, but it's obviously there for a reason.
Yeah, and I've asked Erica about this too, and the way that I think it is it's purely just for you to have visibility. If there's a way that we could just have one issue, I think everybody would prefer it that way. But it's just a matter of making sure that we have things in like the corporate marketing board, and then have something for you to track as well. As far as I know, that's why. But do you think, is there a way that if we just had that, well, and I think it's the milestones too, like having the April blogs, March blogs, milestones in the GitLab.com, is it project? I think that's part of the problem, is that it's having to coordinate between two different projects.
Maybe I got the wrong end of the stick, but like these duplicate issues are sometimes both in the GitLab.com project.
Oh, weird.
Maybe that's me not paying close enough attention, but that's what it looked like to me.
So it should be one issue in content and corporate marketing, and one issue in GitLab.com. And the reason why we have the duplicate, one is for the blog issue and associated merge requests. And then the other one in corporate marketing is for us to collaborate with PMM and the digital team, and to track to the epic.
Right, because so the epic doesn't pull in stuff from a different project, that the issue.
Right, I think so. So that's why we have to have that random skeleton issue.
Okay. All right, let me go back and check. Maybe I just got the wrong end of the stick there, but I knew there must be a reason, because it seemed like so obvious. Like, why would you be duplicating this work? But no one would do this on purpose.
We just like to clutter GitLab for no reason. It could have been a mistake as well. Like, I think when I was opening issues, it's possible that I opened two in the GitLab project instead of one in one. So it is possible that there is like
teething kind of problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll go back and check, but that makes sense the way you've explained it to me now.
How do you feel about epics and issues in general?
I am experimenting with epics for the first time, just with a new sort of, sorry, I need to plug in, so I'm going to walk and talk for a second. I haven't worked too closely with epics yet, so I feel like I'm still kind of getting a handle on how that's going to work for me. But it seemed to be like a really useful way of coordinating these kind of broader campaigns, but it hasn't been super applicable to my work just yet.
Do you get more use out of milestones?
I personally am so like currently like buried in the weeds of like my day-to-day work that I feel like the milestones are useful for like the bigger picture, which I really hope to get to once we finally hire a content editor who I can share some of the like workload of reviewing. But I hope that one day I can pay more attention to the bigger picture stuff like milestones. But I think it is helpful for getting like an overview of work accomplished during a particular time period.
So for me, issues and epics, I would be completely lost without them, especially with things like Just Commit and the developer survey. Milestones, I haven't used them very much. I mean, assign them to my issues, but I don't ever look at them. I do think that there's value in them when looking at OKR progress, but I just haven't really fully realized the potential of milestones yet. And then in terms of epics, I think it's a great way of organizing work. And then like, especially now that we have like parent-child epics, and there's like, I think there's something else I just saw where there's like epic history or something. I think that's extremely useful. And then issues, I like to work in issues. I feel like that's the best way for me to find out any information. I wish that we, and not we as in terms of like the content team, but we like as a marketing team, we got better at like like connecting the issues. So like related issues, like doing that more often, because oftentimes I find that I'm hunting for issues because they weren't like related to other issues. So I think we need to get better at that, especially as the team grows. So I think like however we decide to like change things, I do like using epics. Like I think that's very helpful for content marketing campaigns. Melissa, how do you feel about epics and issues? I know that like things are still new for you, but what are like as a like from a like a pretty like new first impression, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I think this is a good conversation in general, because I think start having this conversation is already helping me be like, oh, how should we manage like corporate marketing in general? Because like whatever we do for each team, I'd love to see like it replicated across like the entire organization, so we all can collaborate with different teams on corporate marketing, as well as like hopefully all of marketing at some point. So epics though in general, yeah, I mean, I'm still getting used to the whole flow at GitLab actually, but I think they're pretty and I like it. Like I like it in terms of this is what we're going for, and this is you know, I guess overall mission. But I don't know, I honestly haven't really done much with them to this point. So anyway, so that's how I feel right now.
Cool. I'm really interested in learning how other teams organize their work and like what they're doing, because I thought everybody was just kind of using epics and milestones, but like what are they doing? Like are they like, I'm very, very curious, especially engineering and product. So
I would love to know that too. And I think it would be really great when Erica returns if she could give us kind of an overview of what she sees working really well. I would love to know that too, because I like, for me, honestly, right now, I feel like I am mostly stuck in the to-do, like the, does that make sense? Like to-dos, like I feel like I'm usually responding to a lot of like my at name, and I get caught up in that all day. And then I'm like, oh, like I need to create, it's like the planning part, me in general needs to do a better job in like the whole planning part and like creating issues and epics, milestones. So anyways, it's just something I'm thinking through right now, but I would love to learn from Erica on what's really working.
well, you're not the only one who struggles with planning. The second the developer 4,075 respondents rated the planning stage as the second most area where they encounter delays in the development lifecycle.
Interesting. I could see that. Because I think it's like I think email has trained us to be like so like responsive too. Like if you come from an email world, and then the to-do sign or the to-do section is like kind of like an email list for me. Like it's like, oh, I need to respond to these things right away. But then the planning part, it's like that's actually, kind of like what we need to be focused on in order to like reach our goals. So anyway.
I was just going to say, Suri, is this going to be our next few months in meetings with you just like throwing out these little tidbits of information?
Absolutely. I did that recently as well. I was like, well, I was like, you could use this tool when I was talking to somebody in product. And yes, so please enjoy these random facts, which you probably never wanted to know, but now you will know. Wonderful. So is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about? Any discussion items? Oh, one other thing that I find very useful is the boards. I'd like to find a way where we could use boards more often, because I like the way that like social and blogs, like that is very helpful to me to like see things like moved from like planned, in progress, to review, to schedule. So I like that idea. And one idea that I was thinking of was maybe having like individual boards, like where like if we have like everybody has their own board with like items that are assigned to them, and then there's like a general sort of like in progress or like need help, and then maybe something like Erica review, where she can see like these are the issues that we need her to look at right away. That might be kind of helpful. And like, I don't know if that's possible, like if we can pull together like the blog and like content, like other issue, like I'm not explaining this properly, but the idea is like, can we have a board that like pulls issues together from like different projects, so that this way we can like see like what everybody's working on right now, what needs to be reviewed by Erica, and what is like handed off to design or whatever. This way it gives like a snapshot of the team and like what everybody's working on at one time.
Yeah,
So
I think that'd be a great idea.
You definitely can add a list to issue boards of just like things assigned to each user, which we used to have on the blog one, but we don't have anymore because not everyone is working on the blog full time anymore. But I think that group level issue boards are a thing, which in theory should work for the marketing group, which we're all a part of. But yeah, I think that kind of visibility would be helpful. The last thing I wanted to say on this was just particularly like for like Chrissy and Vanessa, you're just starting. Something that we like sometimes have to reinforce is people will sometimes ping you directly on Slack for things. And if you find that you have a conversation there, what I often will go and do is just document the conversation from Slack in the issue, just for visibility, so that, because the great thing about issues and working out in the open like that is that everyone can see all of that context, and if anyone's wondering what's going on with any particular thing, they can catch up really easily. But sometimes people circumvent that by just going directly to you on Slack, and then that means that not everyone has access to that information. So I really try and reinforce to people that they should be having those conversations in a public place where everyone can see, because it's often just that they're trying to reach you urgently, and it's not because it's actually like confidential between the two of you.
So do you usually just copy and paste the conversation, or do you take a screenshot and post it in the issue?
Or just summarize,
Okay.
and yeah, like whatever form makes sense for you. I think a summary is fine. Like I wouldn't, with this conversation going on about how long our Slack history is kept, I wouldn't link to a conversation or anything like that, because we don't know how long that history is going to be around. But if it's just like, oh, you know, we spoke and we agreed to push back the deadline to the following week or something, just so then that information is there for other people to see. Or if you get involved in a 50 comment deep Slack thread discussing some initiative that should be an issue to start with, like I would gently try and move it over. Like you can even open the issue yourself and just be like, maybe we should discuss this over here, where, you know, it's easier to keep track.
Well, and another thing that I think is going to make that happen more is, I think Sid talked about Slack information is only going to be saved for 90 days. So
yeah, that's under discussion at the moment. People are very unhappy with the prospect, but yeah, I think treat it as if that's going to be the case, and then we'll be prepared for whatever happens.
Yeah, I was hearing from people that were very upset and had very persuasive arguments against it and stuff. But I think Sid's going to veto it. I think he's going to go to 90 days. So I think if we start thinking in that mindset, that'll make things a lot easier. But yeah, like these threads on Slack can get a little bit wild. So, and Vanessa, like one thing that I've found is that even if you create the issue yourself, even if it's not completely perfect, like just creating it and then moving that conversation there, people are always so helpful when you're a GitLab noob, and they're more than happy to help you fix things. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, or like, I don't know what category for this issue, like just ping somebody. So yeah, make that a practice for yourself. If you see like a thread getting out of control and you're like, oh, this could be like its own separate thing, just create an issue and then incorporate their help in making it formatted correctly.
Cool. Good to know.
So one thing that when I first joined that I struggled with was when people would message me on Slack asking for my help on a review. Like, could you please review this email? Could you review this blog post or whatever it was? In the beginning, I would just do it, like review it and then Slack them back and say, oh, I did it. It's done. But it gets hard to coordinate your work and you don't document what you're doing. So if somebody comes to you and messages you on Slack or sends you, schedules a call with you or whatever, tell them that you'd like them to create an issue and assign it to you. Even if it's something like very, very simple, like, oh, I wrote this, could you please do it? I mean, sometimes, like even now, I don't have them create an issue if it's just like something really quick, like reviewing, I don't know, a newsletter test email or something. I don't do that. But if it's something from another team, like product marketing, for example, I would insist on having them create an issue and assigning it to you. This way it helps you not only organize your work, but it also helps you see what you've done in a month or two. And it's good for transparency, and it helps to establish boundaries with people to make sure that they're not like setting a fire under you to do something very urgently when it doesn't need to be done right away. So tell people, please assign me to issues. Cool. Well,
that's very wise.
I think Rebecca's the one that told me when I joined. So all credit to Rebecca.
Rebecca, you're very wise.
We pass the baton, and Vanessa, whenever the next person joins, you can tell them as well. But,
Okay.
probably a lot to take in on your first day, I would imagine. And this, like, I didn't actually get to meet you during your interview process. Like, maybe you're like a GitLab pro already, but
Nope.
I know it took a while for all of us to get up to speed. So don't be like hard on yourself if all of this is sounding a little bit unfamiliar. And
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to write down all the things. I have no idea what they mean. I'll refer back to it later.
And yeah, ask if you feel like it might be a dumb question, there's no such thing, but like ask in our team channel first, because it's a safe space if you don't want to like out yourself as a noob.
Okay. So are there any other discussion topics? Anything that people have been wondering about or been feeling like they've been wanting to ask but don't know where to ask, or anything where you need help?
So since I'm going to be out of town and I have like so many things that are due in like the first 2 weeks of April, I'm going to be pretty heads down this week to try to write as much as I can. So Rebecca, I'm going to need some help from you. I think I have one thing that is for your review this week, and I'm probably going to have 2 or 3 more things by Thursday. So I'll probably need to schedule some time with you to kind of go over like what's needed and if there's any edits, who you should talk to about them. Because yeah, I'm not gonna be accessible.
Right. So I know I've got one merge request assigned to me, which I know is due to go out on Wednesday. The other things that we're talking about are those things that should go live while you are out of office?
Yes.
Okay. So if I don't have time to turn all of those around before you go, there just needs to be a kind of fallback option for resolving any comments before they get published.
Yes, and one of them is for the Jenkins. Oh no, I'm. Is it my fault that I'm? Okay. Sorry, I heard echo. So one of them is the launch post for the Jenkins campaign, and that's probably the most urgent, and that's the second. So yeah, so I'll have maybe one or two, 3 things probably coming to you for review by Wednesday. So just to give you a heads up that there's going to be like a weird influx of like more stuff than usual from me.
Yeah, thanks. And all of those are supposed to go up while you're out.
Yep.
Okay. Those aren't on the calendar yet, as far as I know.
One is reducing IT costs, test automation, and then the launch post for
okay.
Jenkins.
Okay, so 2 of those are existing ones. It's just the one that's the new Jenkins release post.
Mm-hmm.
Launch post, sorry. Okay, all right, that's fine. Thanks for letting me know.
Yes. You should see that soon.
Cool. Is there anything else, or shall I let you all live your Monday? I think we're done. Vanessa, welcome. We're so excited you're here.
Thank you.
Things can be very overwhelming in your first, 6 months here. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask any one of us, and we will help you as much as we can. Otherwise, we'll direct you to somebody who can help you.
Okay.
So don't be shy. We're so excited you're here. Cool.
Okay.
Well, goodbye, everyone.
Good
Happy
job,
Monday.
Suri.
Bye.
Okay, bye.